All right, I'm going to show you guys how to get started in SketchUp. So the very first thing I need you to do is go out to my website and you're going to go to mm178.k12.sd.us. You've been there before, same website that we've used all semester. Go ahead and click that. And what we're going to do from here is go to cabinet making one, and cabinet making one on the right side of the page. Once we get there, we're going to scroll down until we find SketchUp template for cabinet making. That's the one we would like to use for today. So go ahead and click on it. It might give you some options, or it might automatically download for you. Mine has automatically downloaded down here in my toolbar. You can see that. That's fine for today. If you get the option to open it, you can open it right away. That's fine as well. So when we're done with my website, we're going to go out and find SketchUp. Now my SketchUp is already locked in the dock, but if yours is not, you can go to the Finder window. You're going to go to Applications and scroll for the SketchUp file in there, and it is right here on mine. And I'm going to choose SketchUp, the middle one, and click that. Once you click it, it's going to appear over in the dock. If you would like to lock it there for long-term use or repetitive use, you can control-click or double-click with your fingers and go to Options, and then make sure that's checked in a dock, or kept in the dock. That's for Mac users. PC users, you can create a shortcut on your desktop to get easy access for this. All right, so you might have this open up right to the templates page. You might have it open up to the license page. You might have it anywhere in between. Whatever it looks like, we're trying to get to the templates. And so for right now, I'm going to click on Files, and you might have it look like this. These are templates I already have open. You might have it look like this. This is the default template. So to get started, it really doesn't matter which one we pick on, because we're going to get it set up. But I like to start with the plan view in inches, just if I don't get something set up right, that at least has the white background that I need, and my units are in inches, which I want as well. So I'm going to click on that to get started. You can see it opens up with this white background, which is fine, but we're going to get our template set up. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up here to File, and I'm going to go Open, and it should be in Downloads. So I'm going to go down to Downloads and find my cabinet making SketchUp template. You can see right there, and I'm going to open that up. Open it up. It should appear on the top to say cabinet making SketchUp template. Mine says 1 because I've downloaded it multiple times. And that's what we want, okay? Now, the one thing that we're going to do is save this as our default template. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to File, Save As, not Save As Regular, but Save As a Template. Make sure you're choosing Template, Save as a Template. Click that option. It'll bring open a new dialog window, and you can name this whatever you want. Put your name, put NTHS, put cabinet making, whatever you would like. And then make sure that this box is checked here. Make sure this is set as default template. Then every time you open up SketchUp, it's going to automatically open up this template for you to use. And so you're going to go ahead and click Save. I'm not. I already have this template saved. Okay. One thing you can see, we're now at a white background. If we go back to this original view, and you have these lines here, okay, these are access lines. And so if you want to get rid of these access lines, this just lets you know that you're drawing on the y-axis or the x-axis. What we're going to do is go ahead and turn those off. It's going to make it easier when we print these on paper for your hauling around the shop and building this project. So if you just simply come up here to View, click on View, and then there's Accesses that's checked. Go ahead and uncheck that. and you'll see that those disappear, and now you're at the white background screen, okay? So it's not, you can leave them on if you want, but when we go to print, you will need to turn them off. And again, that's done under View and Accesses, okay? I'm gonna close this window. This was my original unopened one, and this is my new template that I have set up. So that's where I wanna be, the new template. I just went back to that other document so you could see those access lines. Now, I already have some of my tools set up here. You're going to, on Mac users, you're going to customize this top tray. On PC users, you only have this large tool set over here. So PC users, to turn this on, it's going to be something similar to View and Toolbars or Tool Palettes, and you're going to look for a large tool set. Okay, it might have a little different menu under View, but you're looking for Tools or Tool Palettes, and then choose the large tool set, and all of those will appear on the side. Mac users, we have a little bit more customization, so go ahead up on the top and double click or control click, and you should get customized toolbar. And with that, a menu will pop open, and it's pretty easy to use. I'm going to show you how to get rid of stuff and how to add it. So there's typically 3 or 4 things more that you will have up here that you'll need to get rid of. So you're going to pull these off, and they're going to just poof away. So I want you to take it down till the magnifying glass. You should have 2 magnifying glasses and nothing else after that. There's 3 new tools that we're going to add, and those are going to be the magnifying glass with the square around it, or zoom window. It's right here, and you're going to just click it, drag it up there, and let go, and it will snap in. And then I'm going to also choose the dimension tool, which is right here. The dimension tool will allow me to dimension things, so I'm going to click that and drag it up. And the other thing that you might find useful is undo redo. That might be helpful for you, so drag that up there as well. I like to keep these 3 magnifying glasses right next to each other, just so you're not searching or scanning for them later. Once you've got your toolbar to look like this, the last 3 tools that you have up here, undo, redo, dimension, and zoom window, we're good for what we're going to be doing today. And so go ahead and down at the bottom of the screen and hit done. Now what we're going to do is start drawing in SketchUp. SketchUp is a pretty easy program to do. It's going to do exactly what we tell it to do. All right, so there's a couple ways to draw. Let's say we want to draw a box that's 20 inches wide and 30 inches tall. We could do that 2 different ways. We could use the square tool, which is up here under shapes. You might see circular, pentagon, rectangle. So we're going to grab the rectangle, and you could use the rectangle to do that. I am really not a fan of the square or rectangle tool. I like to draw each line and know that specifically they're the right size. So I'm not even going to use that square tool, but it's up to you. If you like that, you want to draw a whole square at a time, you're welcome to do that. I am going to click the pencil tool, and I'm going to click a spot on the screen. It doesn't matter where. And I'm going to drag my tool over. So I have clicked, and then I let go. My hands are free in the air. I have not clicked again. I have not held it while I pulled over. Right now, I can pull it over. You can see that it's a solid point here. And when I'm on the red line, that means I'm drawing in the x-axis. That means that I am nice and straight, and my line is going to be nice and straight when I'm done. So you'll notice as I pull it over, we have no idea how far we are, but if you look down here in the corner, mine says length, it could say distance, it could say something like that, but you'll see a size. Right now it says 89 5/16. So if I pull that straight up and get it red again, you'll notice that now it says 68 11/16. Well, I only want my box or square to be 20 inches wide. So I don't need to click down there. All I'm going to do is type. So if I type, it's going to automatically show up in that box. So I'm going to hit 20. It knows I'm in inches based on the template that we set up, or I have set up for you, and you're going to hit enter. So 20, enter, and it's going to snap into a 20-inch long line. Now you might say, well, man, that line looks really small, and then that's all about perspective. So if we come up here to the zoom and we zoom out, it's going to get even smaller. Even though it still is 20 inches long, it looks really small because it's really far away. So we're going to use the zoom extent. This is going to zoom all things that we have drawn, and it's going to zoom it in as close as it can and put everything in one window view for us. So I'm going to click that. You can see my line zooms in nice and big, and it doesn't give me much room to draw because I only have one line. If I had multiple things, they would be smaller, so you could fit everything in one screen. I'm going to come back to the pencil tool, and I'm still connected here. If for some reason you want to get another tool, you could drag your cursor up here. You see how my line attaches. But if you're done with your tool and you no longer want to draw, just hit escape. Escape in the upper left-hand corner will turn your current tool off and allow you to do whatever you want. It leaves you in that tool. It just finishes the task you were at. So let's say we come up to this line. I'm ready to draw my second line. I'm not connected. If you bring it over, you should find a little end point or a node. It should snap in. It's green here. You hover, it says end point. You know you're at the end of that line. You're going to click. And again, I've let go. My hands are off the keyboard. Now I'm going to use the mouse pad or the mouse to pull it down. It doesn't matter how far. You can see my length down here in the window is only letting me go 6 inches down because otherwise we're off the screen, and that is fine. I am going to type, I told you we were going to do a 30-inch tall square, so I'm going to type 30 and enter. Remember, it's already in inches. It knows it's in inches based on the template. So hit enter, and it will snap off the screen, which is fine. Now, if we come up here to the zoom extents, we can zoom everything in and see our drawing. Now we got to draw over. There's a couple ways to draw over. We could tell it to go back 20 inches, pulling it over nice and straight. If I come up to the opposite corner here and just hover a minute, I haven't clicked, I just hovered, and start slowly pulling it down, you'll see a small dotted line appear, and that is telling us that we are straight up and down from that top endpoint or node. And so when I click it, and you can see the bottom line is red. That means we're drawing straight in the x-axis. And you can see I'm getting this dotted line straight up and down. That means we are parallel, or sorry, at the same ending point as that top node there. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to snap into place. And again, for this next one, you could pull it up and tell it how far to go, or you could simply click on the endpoint and it will close it off for you. Now we have made a complete shape. It has filled it in blue. Now, if you don't like that color, you can use the paint bucket tool. When we draw plans, I will have you use the paint bucket tool, and there is some pre-loaded wood grains. Now on Mac and PC, it looks a little different once you get in here, but PC or sorry, Mac users, you need to click on the brick, okay, on the 3-4 options on top, and use the drop-down menu to find, don't look at wood. Wood puts in some horrible wood grains that do not print very easy. If you try to print that, it's not gonna look more than like a blob or a blur. Okay, what I want you to do is choose from the menu. It might say colors named, it might say colors in model, it might just say in model. On PC users, it might just say in model, and click that. There is some preloaded grain. Now you'll see these other ones that I just clicked on for you. Those won't be in yours, but we should have 3 defaulted grains. We should have the end grain, we should have up and down grain, and side to side grain. Now we can click on that and fill. You can see that's really wide grain. If you want to edit that, usually there's an edit button, or you can double click and it will bring open the edit features, and then you can change the width and length parameters to give you whatever size you want your grain to look like. You can see a little bit smaller, puts it as a little bit tighter grain. The main point is that when we are drawing, we want to be able to tell which direction the grain is running on our pieces, okay? Now, let's back up a couple steps here. When this is freshly drawn, it could be blue like this, and that blue lets us paint it. Now, if for some reason you don't need this, maybe this is an opening and you want to show this open, if you click on it, it kind of makes it a polka dotted textured shape, and then we can delete it, and now it's a hollow surface. Now if we take those paint bucket tools and try to paint it, there's nothing there for it to paint. If you accidentally got rid of this and now you want to paint it, or maybe you deleted it and now you need to paint it, maybe it wasn't an accident, all you got to do is take your pencil tool again, okay, and click on one node and go over to the other endpoint, and it will snap in, and you can see there it refills it real quick and easy for you. So that's one way to get those surfaces back if you've deleted them. Another tool that I had you add that you're going to need to be familiar with is the 3 at an angle, the dimensioning tool. So if we take that dimensioning tool, it's pretty easy to use. You can click 2 points like here and here, and then pull it off the project, and it will tell you how long that is. Or you could click a solid line. You see when I click down here on the bottom line, it's showing it's all blue. If I click that and pull it up, you can see it grabs that line automatically for me. So either way that you need to dimension. When you do dimension something, you have to click endpoints. So if I want to know how big half of this project is, or how big it is to a certain aspect, I have to have an endpoint. So I'm going to show you how to draw a little inside line here that we can dimension for you. So if we start making this look like a project, I'm going to bring this in 1.5. So I clicked in the corner, I pull it the direction I want to go. I'm going to type 1.5, enter. I'm going to come back, and there's the midpoint, and there is my end point, and I'm going to pull that straight down. And if I come in here and draw this down 1.5, just to give you an example of how this dimension tool might not work in a certain spot for you. So now I have this corner here, and I want to dimension this. So if I take my dimension tool and I want to dimension from here over, I can't because there's no end point to click to here. SketchUp is nice that it'll let me pick this upper corner, and if I pull it down straight, it will snap to that point and let me know how big it is, okay? So now to get this text so it's not inside the lines like that, because it can kind of be claustrophobic or kind of tight in there. So if we click on it and we control click on a Mac or a double finger click, or a right click on a PC, we can choose text position. And you can try outside start or outside end. It's going to change every time because it's going to be based off of where you started the dimension and where you ended the dimension. So I'm going to click it out, and you can see it kicks it out there, so it's nice and easy to read the text and the dimension lines, okay? Hopefully that helps you get started here. I'll show you another thing real quick, another drawing. So I'm going to zoom out. Now, if you want to draw multiple things on the same document, that is fine. You can zoom out. You can use the hand tool to move over, and then you could start your other drawing. So that's one way to do it. The other way is to save multiple documents, and then maybe you have a front view, a whole document, and then maybe you have a side view as a whole document, and then a back view as its whole document, or you could draw everything in one document. That's fine as well. So if we have something else drawn here, I'm going to click. I'm just going to draw a 10-inch box. So I'm going to come out 10, enter. I'm going to bring it over 10. Back up 10, and over 10. So to show you some of these zoom tools again, now I want to zoom into this box here. I could sit and use this zoom and hand tool. That's kind of a lot of work. Or I could use this zoom window. This will allow me to draw a box, a selection box, around what I want to zoom into, and there it is. So you can do your drawing on here. You can make all your changes that you need to, and then now maybe you need to see the other view. And so if you come up here to zoom extents, which is the zoom with the 4 or 3 arrows, it's going to zoom all of your pictures that you have drawn into your full screen there, and then you can take your selection tool and draw a box around there. Maybe there's something up in this corner and you need to zoom in real close to get your lines connected. You can zoom in super close to things for drawing that way. All right. We also had this hand tool that allows you to pan across the screen. One thing I would really avoid using is the tape measure tool. The tape measure tends to leave extra construction lines that you can't get rid of when it's time to print your project on paper. So we want to avoid using that tape measure tool. Use the dimension tool if you want to know how big something is. Okay, we drew some lines on here that maybe now we need to get rid of. A couple ways to get rid of things. We can take our selection tool or the arrow tool and we can click on a line. You can see it turns that line blue. When we're ready to get rid of that, we can hit delete. Now on a PC user, make sure you're not hitting backspace because it's not going to do anything. Make sure you're hitting your delete button and delete that. That's one way to get rid of things. So you highlight it with the selection tool and hit delete. The other way to get rid of stuff is with the eraser tool. I've got two erasers, one on the large tool palette, one on the regular tool palette up on top. So pick whatever one you want. It's the same tool. And now all you do is hold down your cursor and go over lines, and it's going to delete those to get rid of them. So, or you can come up and simply hover over a line and click it, and it will delete as well. It's one click over that line, or you can hold it down and select multiple things. Either way works for this tool or this program. All right. Hopefully this helps get you started, gets your template set up, gets you kind of some ideas on drawing in SketchUp. Again, the thing that we have students with the biggest trouble is knowing that all you do is click on the screen and let go, and then you pull the cursor or the mouse the way you want it to go, and then you type how far. Do not hold down the click as you pull your pencil tool over, or it will not allow you to type in your size. If I hold a click, it will still draw a line, but then when I let go, it's going to snap right away, and now I can't edit that. So what we got to do is we got to click, let go of the click button, then drag the cursor the way you want to go, and then type your size. Okay? Hopefully that helps. Happy drawing.